Akadosh Boker Or Bekiim Bahalacha day 9. We are on the top. Halacha Kaftet Birkat Matira Surim. Okay, so it says halacha like this: the ability to move. So number 29, with the blessing of Matira Surim, we thank God for the ability to move our limbs. Yeah, so that's we make a bracha. We have the ability to move our limbs. While we were asleep, we had no conscious control over them, and our sages equated the state to that of being bound in chains. Zotomenet. When we're sleeping, it's ki'ilu that even though we can move around. I'm saying in the sleep, people move around a lot, right? But hakavana is that since we have no conscious control, which means we cannot really control what we're doing when we're sleeping, so therefore when we wake up, now we're able to move around freely. So we make a bracha, and that's the matira surim. It's ki'ilu we were in jail during the night. Why? אנחנו לא יודעים מה אנחנו עושים עם הידיים.
לא, אנחנו עושים ככה.
לא ככה.
לא, אבל מה אומר? אחרי אתה רוצה כאילו אתה פרי.
כן, אבל הכוונה is that it wasn't conscious, meaning that יש אנשים באמצע הלילה, אני יודע, תלוי גם בילדים, יש ילדים שהם ישנים ככה ולא זזים הרבה, יש ילדים אחרים שהם בכל מקום, הידיים, הרגליים, הזה, אתה יודע. לא עד כדי כך, אבל יש כאלה גם. but there does exist, sleepwalking, but, fine. So that's why you come and you have to make a bracha of matir asurim. Number 18, this explanation is that of the levush, based on the Talmud. Okay, so he comes and he says like this. He says, this explanation of the levush is based on the Gemara. Okay, number 9. Okay, next one. Bikat zokef kufim, halacha lamed, 30. So bikat zokef kufim, now we're going to talk about the ability to stand up. So with this blessing, right, we thank God for giving us the strength to stand up and the sense of balance, enabling us to remain standing without falling. Okay? Meaning, right? What do we do? First of all, when we come with Zokef Kufim, so first of all, we could stand, but it's only just standing. It's to remain with balance. Right? Why? Because some people, they can't keep the balance. No. So they come and they say that's why we're making the bracha. So even someone who's paralyzed and cannot get out of his bed, he still says this bracha. The morning blessings were instant to thank Hashem for the general manner in which people were created. So again, we go back to the same machloket, right? That means basically, the way that he's learning is not like Maran, right? They're going like that. So basically, that this was basically a beracha for the world, not for the individual. Again, there's a lot of questions on that, as we already mentioned, about the blind person, about the person that couldn't hear, about this, about that. So it's not that simple because this chlal, right? On checking it's a gula. Right? But the concept though is that's the reason behind it. Huh? According to Maran, he says that it was the way that it was done was when you benefit, that's when you make a bracha. זאת אומרת, כשאתה נהנה, אתה מברך.
הכנסת הגדולה, תקנו, מסתכלים על כל העולם.
We don't know. If you have a מחלוקת באחרונים, means obviously you don't know what's...
So they think they say like
yes.
This. No.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So number 19 in the footnote. Okay. This is the ruling of the Ben Ish Chai cited in the Kav HaChaim. This confirms with the ruling that a blind person says the bracha also, and his ruling that even if someone is barefoot, he still says Sha'asa likot tzorki. Like for example, a mourner during Shiva, he says the bracha also. According to the Nishon Tzion, however, it is best that a blind person refrain from reciting the blessing of Pekach Ivrim, as explained in Halacha 27. If so, perhaps the same should apply to a paralyzed person. Right? This needs to be verified. So basically, it comes out. It's interesting because at the top, he brings down the Ben Ish Chai in Kav HaChaim, but he doesn't bring down Shitat Rav Ovadia. He says, maybe according to Shitat Rav Ovadia, Be'emet, a paralyzed person should not make the bracha. Because that's like a blind person. Right? That's like the blind person. Okay? Now, again, according to Maran anyway, for sure it's going to be a bracha. But the question is, do we apply this concept of that it's for everybody? Do we go all the way or it's like in the middle? Yeah.
If you go by each one individual, there's some you will do,
some don't do. So okay, you have everything. Okay, Halacha 31, Lamed Aleph. Yeah, Yeshra?
Yeah.
Okay. If someone mistakenly recited the bracha of Zokef Kufim before Matir Asurim, he may no longer recite the blessing of Matir Asurim. So one more time, he came and he flipped the brachot. So he first did, right, the Zokef Kufim even before Matir Asurim. So he can't do it anymore. Why? Because by thanking Hashem for standing up, you already thanked him for the ability to move your limbs. זה כאילו כלול בתוך הברכה, yes. So that's why you must see the bracha. In such a situation, he should try to find someone else who's about to say Birkot Hashahar and ask him to say Matir Asurim on his behalf as well. And if it's not feasible, he should just say the bracha while thinking Hashem's name in his mind, meaning Bili Shem Malchut. He thinks about the Shem Malchut in his mind, but he's not actually going to do it. Okay? Fine. Number 20 and then 21. 20 on the bottom. Rav Amram Gaon ruled that in this case, it's not possible to say the bracha anymore of Matir Asurim anymore. And this is the ruling of the Shulchan Aruch. The Bach, however, ruled that this person may still say the bracha, although he already recited the bracha of Zokef Fim. So basically, it's coming out. Rav Amram Gaon says he can't do it anymore, and that's a Shulchan Aruch. The Bach argued, and the Bach says that a person could still say it. The Acharonim ruled that we must follow the principle of Safek Berachot Akel, as explained in the Mishnah Berurah and the Ben Ish Chai. The Ma'amar Mordechai pointed out that although the Magen Avraham claimed that Shlomo Luria concurred with the Beit Chadash, with the Bach, the truth is that he concluded that we must follow the ruling of Rav Amram Gaon. So it comes out that the Magen Avraham, he did say, listen, the Marshal, Shlomo Luria, he actually passed like the Bach. But he says, no, but at the end of the day, we have to do like Rav Amram Gaon. And if Rav Amram Gaon, and that's what Shitat Maran was, is that you do not do it again, you do not do it. That's it. Not again. It's like, you could still do the bracha, right? So again, machloket, okay? Next, the Od Yosef Chai. Rav Yosef Chaim retracted his original ruling that was printed in the Ben Ish Chai. Okay? So remember, there's a Ben Ish Chai and Od Yosef Chai. Od Yosef Chai, there's Al Parashiot, right? And there's also Od Yosef Chai Al Halachot. So the Od Yosef Chai was like a hashlama, it was like another book of halachot written by the Ben Ish Chai. Okay? So it says, Rav Yosef Chaim retracted his original ruling that was printed in the Ben Ish Chai. In his Od Yosef Chai, he explained that the ruling of the Shulchan Aruch is based upon the general thesis that the morning blessings are thanking for personal benefits. According to the Ramah and the Arizal HaKadosh, however, this is in the manner that the world was created. So some people receive the benefit of Zokef Kofim, while others receive only the benefit of Matir Asurim. Meaning, some people, they could only move the limbs. They can walk. And some people, right, that's what he's saying. Therefore, even if the blessings are recited in an incorrect order, they are both necessary. You need both. You need both. So it does not depend on the individual who recites them. Although this is counter to the ruling of the Shulchan Aruch, and the principle of Safek Berachot Akel does not apply when the Arizal's opinion is brought down. Moreover, each of the morning blessings has independent significance according to the Kabbalah. And no one may recite fewer than the complete set of blessings. Meaning, according to the Kabbalah, they're saying you always have to do it. You always have to do it. Yeah? This is very, very important. The entire premise of the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch is untenable. Right? And untenable argued Rav Yosef Chaim. If it would be true that the blessings of Zokef renders that the Matir Asurim are necessary, so why would our sages have obligated us to recite both blessings in the first place? Why do they do that? Meaning, technically speaking, just make the bracha of Zokef Fim. Why do you need Matir Asurim? They should have instituted the bracha of Zokef Fim only. And this can be compared to a case of someone eating two foods. Well, one is tafel. It's like tafel and ikar. You don't make two brachot, you make one bracha. One bracha, and the ikar is poteret, tafel. One bracha takes away the other. So the blessing of the main food automatically covers the subordinate food. And it's forbidden to recite separate brachot, right? So he says if someone does, so therefore he's guilty of reciting necessary blessing. In the same way, it ought to be forbidden to recite the blessing of Matir Asurim, since one plans to recite the blessing of Zokef Fim afterwards. So it must be, therefore, that these two blessings are independent, and neither one covers the intent of the other. Yeah? That means each one is separate. That's what we're saying. Right? The Hilchot Olam. Maran the Rishon LeZion, he disagreed with each of these points. First of all, he says, although the Ramah and Rav Amram Gaon both subscribed to the school of thought that they were limited to thanking Hashem in a general creation of the world, right? They both ruled that if Zokef Kofim was recited first, you don't do Matir Asurim. So how could that be? Meaning, both the Ramah and Rav Amram Gaon hold that it's on the entire world. But they also both hold that the second that you did Zokef Kofim, you don't do Matir Asurim. So in fact, the Minchat Aaron asserted that in such a case, it would no longer be necessary to recite the blessing, even according to the Kabbalah. And although the Ben Ish Chai argued that our sages would have instituted two separate blessings if one could be covered by other, there are other examples where it's exactly what we do. For example, we make the bracha b'Yirkat Torah, although the halacha is that Avat Olam covers it. But so why do we do it then? instead of instituting separate blessings, they could have just simply said, just do Ahavat Olam. Don't do Birkat Torah. Maran and Shalom didn't admit it, that this argument is faulty. Meaning, Zelo Kol Kach Chazak, Mashu Amar Akshav. Why? He says, nevertheless, he insisted that any blessing instituted by our sages cannot be considered necessary blessings, even if it's possible to fulfill one's obligation with fewer blessings. It's similar to the Rashba's ruling that if our sages instituted an additional facet to a Torah mitzvah, no one is guilty of adding to the Torah by fulfilling the sages' instructions. Okay? So therefore, that's why he's trying to say that it's not that he's adding. Listen, this is the way that it is. The truth is, what Rabbi said, you could actually disprove, you could argue basically, because you could say, listen, at the end of the day, you're right. This is lechatchila, that's b'diavad. Meaning, lechatchila, birkat Torah, because of the chashivut, should have its own bracha. Now, if you didn't do its own bracha, avat olam is going to cover you. That's not a lechatchila. Really, by lechatchila, you should do on its own, and everything should be separate. Okay? Fine. 21. The Ben Ish Chai comes and he recommended pausing to think of Hashem's name while reciting the bracha without pronouncing the name. So one will fulfill the obligation of making a bracha at least according to the poskim that say that one could fulfill it by thinking about it. But a better solution would be for this person to find someone else who needs to recite the blessing and ask him to recite it on his behalf. In that way, he's going to be fulfilled the obligation according to all the poskim. Regarding other situations, this is exactly what the Ben Ish Chai recommended. Right? Perhaps he did not offer the suggestion in this case since it's not a practical solution regarding the Birkot Hashahar, because usually people do it at home, as we already explained. Meaning like this, if you do it at home, so it doesn't make sense, right? That's why he says it's unlikely you're going to find someone to do it. Meaning like this, if you come here to the Beit Knesset and you ask everyone, can you do Birkot Hashahar for me? The majority of people in our Beit Knesset are going to tell you what? I already did it. Because you did it at home. Ashkenazim lo, but we're Sfaradim. A Ben Ish Chai was Sfaradi. So the Ben Ish Chai, that he comes and he says, why didn't he just say, go to somebody and ask him, do the bracha for me. Have me in mind. Doesn't help. Why? Why wouldn't you find him? Because they did it at home. So therefore, the only way to get out of that problem, says the Ben Ish Chai, is you do Baruch Atah, you think in your mind, Elokeinu melech haolam, matir asurim. טוב, אוקיי. באמצע התפילה אתה תרוץ לשם תחזור. אין להם עניין בנץ. אין להם עניין בנץ.
אין להם.
Fine. Halacha 32, as above. Yeah? As above. Says the Halacha Lamed Bet. If someone began to recite the blessing of Zokeh Fim, but while in the middle of reciting it, he realized that he had not yet said Matir Asurim, he must not switch over to the blessing that he skipped. Instead, he should continue to complete the Zokeh Fim, even though this means he cannot make the bracha of Matir Asurim. So this is again a second time around that he's saying you cannot switch brachot in the middle. 22. It says this is the ruling of the Or Letzion, concurring with the ruling of the Chai Adam, right? In the Ben Ish Chai, Kavchaim, the Ben Ish Chai disagreed. You're arguing that it is better to change the blessing to the Matir Asurim and then to Zokeh Fim. So basically, it's a machloket between the Or Letzion and the Ben Ish Chai. The Ben Ish Chai comes and he says in the middle of the bracha, switch it. Think about it. I want to say Zokeh Fim. I didn't do Matir Asurim. Matir Asurim. That's the Ben Ish Chai. זה מה שהבן איש חי אומר. אבל הרב בן ציון מה שהוא אומר, לא. זוקף פים, ואפילו... לא, בגלל התכוונת להגיד את זה, וברגע שאמרת את זה, זוקף פים, I cannot make any more the ברכה of Matir Asurim. So אפילו if I lost the ברכה, I cannot change it in the middle. That's a שיטה of רב בן ציון מה שהוא. Have a wonderful day. This is finishing day 9.